everyone, I'm Brendan Bell and welcome to MXTV. Well, I hope you've had a great week. I certainly have. I've had a couple of rides on this during the week and it's been fantastic. Well, let's get straight into the show though. In our first segment, we talk to Team Kawasaki rider and AMA motocross champion, Eli Tomac. Well, with us now is the #1 plate holder in the AMA Outdoors. Everybody knows who he is. He's Kawasaki's best, Eli Tomac. Eli, welcome to MXTV, mate.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys.
Eli, first up, what passions do you have outside of motocross? What do you like to do when you're at home relaxing?
It just depends on the seasons. You know, Colorado, you kind of have to go with the season. So in the summertime, it's, you know, spending time in the mountains, like fishing or on the lake. Do a little bit of archery hunting too. So that's summertime. You know, wintertime, if you're around, we'll do a little bit of skiing here and there, you know, and mountain biking too. So really, we're just outdoorsy, and I'm outdoorsy.
I saw there once before you were actually hitting a bit of golf around at one stage. You still into the golf?
I go in waves with the golf. Yeah. Like, right now I haven't been playing much, but a couple of years ago I was actually too into it. So I pump the brakes a little bit.
It gets you like that, doesn't it? There's a lot of youngsters out there that are riding and motocross riders. They want to be like someone like yourself. What advice would you give them to achieve what you've achieved so far?
For one, it's got to be something you want to do. You know, a lot of people get pushed in the wrong direction. So if you love it, you know, just keep pursuing it. You know, I've always enjoyed it. You just got to have fun doing it. And then, I mean, yeah, there's days where you have to be serious and put in the work. But at the end of the day, you always have to look at it like, hey, I'm riding my dirt bike. I could be, you know, stuck somewhere else that you don't want to be. So really, it's all about having fun and enjoying it. But if you are serious about it, you know, I would say work on technique. That's very important to build your base with technique, and then you get your speed after that.
Such sound advice. Did you ever get advice when you were little that stuck with you for all the way through? Is there something that you know still go back to today?
We would always start with drills, as we call it, when we'd warm up.
You and your
So
dad?
same thing with technique. You know, we'd do a few laps, say, riding with no clutch or front brake only, or things like that, just to build your base. And then I think once you have that base, because that's when you learn things, is your early stages. That's when it's the easiest to learn.
Yeah.
So you want to have that built. You know, if you're really pursuing that to be your career or your profession.
Yeah. And just a quick one too. You've got basically a factory bike, a bike that's built for yourself. If you could only have one part on that bike, what would you keep?
Well, if I could take both, it'd be the fork and the shock, so the suspension package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest thing.
It's really important to have that good balance.
Yeah.
We're going fast. Yeah. Yeah.
Eli, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Okay, let's have a closer look at something we should be all doing before and after a ride, and that is applying chain lube to your chain. Now, I use Modal off-road chain lube because it's specifically for off-road chains. Now, because it's made for dirt bikes, it reduces friction and loss of power, increases chain durability, has no effect on O-rings, X-rings or Z-rings, and it also has a solvent to eliminate old residue and to penetrate into the links. And it's fluorescent yellow, which makes it really easy to tell that you're putting it on the chain. So go down to your local dealer and check it out, the Modal off-road chain lube. You're going to use it all the time.
Hey guys, today's technical tip brought to you by Suzuki is air filter maintenance. A good clean air filter, not only the engine will run so much better, but also you're going to keep your engine well protected from dust and debris that can enter the engine and cause unnecessary wear. And ultimately, when you're wearing out engines, that's a costly mistake. Most of these products, basically what you'll do is just pour it through the inside of the filter, work it through the filter without wringing the filter, and then wash the air filter from the inside back out. The best way to dry your air filter after you've washed it out in the warm soapy water, I would personally put mine in the peg basket on my clothesline or just out on, you know, a nice clean surface out in the warm sun. Make sure that your filter is perfectly dry before you reapply the oil. One of the best things you can do is go and buy yourself some decent filter oil. A good air filter oil will stick to the foam really well. It will tend not to drop to the bottom of the air filter. A lot of people do tend to use things like engine oil and stuff like that, which over time will fall to the bottom of the filter and leave the top part of the filter dry. That's when you're going to get a dusted engine. A big no-no is don't wash the air filter out in petrol. It enlarges the pores of the foam and makes it easier for dirt to actually get through the air filter, even when it's well oiled. The other thing that people will do is when they're washing the air filter out and they're using water that is too hot. A good warm water is a far better thing. Hot water will make the glue of the air filter let go. The use of an air box cover while you're washing the bike is highly recommended. Pull the air filter out, put the air box cover in, wash the bike. Obviously keeping the air filter dry, it's going to make your engine last a lot longer, especially having a wet air filter and an engine that's not getting up to full operating temperature is going to put rust or moisture all through your engine. There's a brief rundown on air filter maintenance, guys. Just remembering that your air filter is the lungs of your bike. So take care of it and it's going to take care of you. Until next time, see you later.
Now let's take a closer look at Kawasaki's all-new KX450 with Jeremy McGrath.
The all-new 2019 KX450 motorcycle was designed with one thing in mind: to put riders on top of the podium. To win the race, you need quicker lap times, and the KX450 was designed to be lightweight, helping to improve handling and reduce fatigue, which can shave time. With more torque and power across the entire rev range, the new KX450 engine is built to shave seconds off of lap times by delivering quicker acceleration and broad usable power. This increased power and torque really proves itself in soft conditions and while exiting turns to help carry your speed onto the straightaways.
To stay in touch with the MXTV crew, make sure to like them on Facey and the Gram.
Is your family like my family? Upset, sad, disappointed? We can fix that, and just in time for Christmas too. Turn that frown upside down with some MXTV merchandise. Get Dad a stubby holder, and there's an MXTV shirt for all the family. And hold it on!
Well, for this year, our Enduro project bike is a 2019 EC300 Gas. Now, we love this model bike, and the guys down at Brayside Gas said, sure, take this on as a project bike for the next 12 months and see what you can do to it. Well, there's not a lot that we can do to this bike, let me tell you. Out of the crate, this bike is absolutely fantastic. So we've made a few modifications, some things that I like personally on a bike, but not much more after that. Let's start at the top of the bike. We started off with a pair of Pro Taper handlebars. They're a Ricky Carmichael bend. Now, we married them up with a pair of Pro Taper grips. I like these grips, they don't have any waffles on them, so they're a little bit smaller diameter, which fits my hand perfectly. Chad from Chad's Off-Road Suspension has just cleaned the suspension up. It's still in stock form. All he's done is worked his magic on the inside of the suspension so that it moves a little bit freer. So the guys down at Unifilter have supplied air filters for us. As part of the Gas race parts, Gas have supplied us with radiator braces. Now, these radiator braces will protect your radiators from being squashed or damaged if you do happen to fall off in the bush. Now, something that's very exciting and first time for me is we're running moose tubes. Now, these are nitro moose tubes, which contain a high concentration of nitrogen. I don't know what that means, but it gives you a much plusher feel, they say, and it eliminates that dead feel. They also tell me it lasts 2 times longer than other mooses. Well, we'll just put that to the test and see if it's true. Now, of course, on the outside of the mooses is Pirelli tyres. Now, I've run the same combination for a very long time when I'm riding in the bush. At the front, I run an MX32 mid-soft. Now, at the rear, I run an Extra X. Now, this tyre gives me great grip, but also a good lifespan as well. Now, in the chain and sprocket department, we've gone with RK chain and sprocket. The quality on the RK product is absolutely superb. That's why we've been with them for so long. So as you can see, we've made very few changes to this bike. A few personal ones, handlebars, grips, but stock as a rock, the EC300 is absolutely fantastic out of the crate. And you can get on one of these from Urban Motor Finance at just $50 a week, so you want to check that out. Well, I'm going to go and have a ride on it, see what it's like, and tell you what it feels like with just these few little changes. Okay, so we've just come back from a test ride of the Enduro project bike, which I said is pretty much stock standard just for a few little things. Now something that is new for me is moose tubes. Now they feel exactly the same as having a tube in there, which I'm very excited about. The big bonus of course is you know that you're not going to get a flat tyre when you're out there riding. Now some of the standard things we've done is change over the oil and put motor oil in it, and we're using the Power Plus fuel. Other than that, this bike is pretty much stock standard. So how does this perform in the bush? Outstanding. The more I ride this bike, the more I'm getting used to riding a two-stroke, and the more I want to put Ks on it. I can't wait to do a lot more riding in the bush with this thing. So follow us on YouTube and Instagram and see what we get up to throughout all of next year on the Gas EC300. Now let's take a look at the brand new goggle out on the market by Spy. It's the Foundation goggle. Now this is the Foundation Plus. It comes with a spectral lens here, and it also comes with a bonus clear lens. Now every Foundation goggle comes with a bonus tear-off pack as well, and Spy say the Foundation goggle has the widest peripheral view on the market. Now the high definition Lexus lens provides sharper and more accurate vision in all lighting conditions. The ventilation system draws air through, creating a vacuum that pulls hot air from behind the lens, keeping you dry. They come with a 45mm roll-off system. The triple layer face foam has a moisture wicking fleece that provides a lot of comfort and keeps you dry long into the moto. And last of all, the Foundation goggle comes with a 45mm strap with a silicone rib on the inside to stop it from falling down. So there you go, a closer look at the Foundation goggle from Spy. A closer look at Suzuki's RMZ 450. Welcome back to MXTV, thanks to Motul Oils. Well, right in front of me and in my hot little hands is the brand new Aero Aviator 2.3, which is due to hit the dealer shelves early next year. Now, this is also the subject of this week's product review. In today's product review, we've got the Aero Aviator 2.3. Now, it's constructed from 100% carbon Kevlar, and it still comes in at under a kilo, making it one of the lightest dirt bike helmets in the market. But the big news is, Aero have developed and patented the new AMS squared system, which reduces the rotational acceleration transmitted to the user. The AMS squared system consists of two different density shells, connected together by means of a rubber dampening ring on a central pin and a set of rubber elements placed between the two shells. In the event of an impact, the outer shell moves independently of the inner shell, reducing the transmitted rotational acceleration and possible brain damage. The new Aero Aviator 2.3 also comes with a brand new magnetic removable and washable inner liner that's hypoallergenic. Now, other than the AMS squared system and the magnetic liner, the 2.3 is pretty much the same as it's been before. The shell looks exactly the same, the look of the helmet is the same, and it comes with those fantastic features with the great venting that it has up the top there, and also the venting that it draws in the cold air and sucks the hot air out the back. Now, the one big thing about this helmet that I love the most is, of course, how light it is, but also the liner. This has got to be, without doubt, the most comfortable liner I've ever put on my head ever before. It's fantastic. It keeps you really comfortable riding through the bush. You can do a day of riding and feel like you haven't even had a helmet on. It is such a comfortable helmet, and I think that's a major plus besides the lightness. And now with the AMS squared system, this helmet is out of this world. Now, the Aero Aviator 2.3 is in the higher price range, but it's a premium helmet and you do get what you pay for. And I give this 5 thumbs up.
Right, we're here at the Mornington Peninsula Motorcycle Club. We're testing the new 2019 model Honda CRF 450R I'm with a guy by the name of Brad Matheson, current Victorian Supermoto champion and BCP coach. Matho, this is your first ride on the new Honda.
Yes.
You looking forward to it?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me out. First ride on the 19, really excited to get out there.
Let me just explain a couple of brand new features of the 2019 model. We've got a brand new front brake, a caliper, oversized, twin size pistons, a lot more power in the front end supposedly, we'll have to wait and see. A different header pipe, the two sections come a lot further forward, supposedly a little bit more bottom end power there. We've got a new fuel injection system and I'm hearing squirts 2 times every cycle, once again focused on that bottom end power. We've got a new swing arm and of course in the looks department we've got some cool looking black rims finally after all these years. We've got some black Renthal fat bars up front and some very cool looking fork protectors with some air vents and a little bit of a wraparound thing going on. Well, we just hopped off the new 2019 model Honda CRF 450R here today and well and truly Matho and I put this thing through its paces. Out there on the track here, we've got soft stuff, we've got hard pack stuff, we had nice moist dirt, we had dry crumbly stuff. So really perfect conditions to be able to put this thing through its paces and see what it's got. So tell us your first impressions of the bike, Matho.
Oh, definitely the engine. The engine just felt so crisp and very torquey. And then probably the front brake, which you definitely need because this thing definitely gets up in boogies. Yeah, I felt very comfortable on it pretty much straight out of the crate, which was very surprising.
For me personally, I got to say, knowing the 2018 very well, the motor was the first thing that stood out for me. A lot more bottom end torque as you roll it on. You can noticeably pull a taller gear, which meant that it was a lot smoother in the hard pack stuff, but also in the softer stuff, it would just pull like a train, which was the biggest improvement for me. Standout motor and got to be one of the best in the bunch. I believe we've got a much more rigid chassis for 2019. Was no problem out there. It felt very accurate and where you placed the bike, it went straight away. And just touching on the suspension and the new chassis, Brad, how did you find the new setup out there on the track?
Oh, well, at first I felt it a little bit high in the rear end, so we lowered the rear end a little bit and that definitely made the bike feel a lot more central and planted. Straight out of the crate, I think I could go race this in super motard form or motocross. The engine is just so good. I can't wait to get one of these and get it out in the motard track for sure.
And I guess for me personally, with the Honda in stock trim for the last few years, you've got the choice of 3 different maps. You've got the standard one, and then you've got a mellow one, which is a little bit cruisier and a bit more placid than the standard one. And then you've got an aggressive one. Now, me weighing a little bit more than the average bear, I guess you would say, I tend to love that aggressive map. On this bike, with this new motor, I've got to say, my favorite map is the standard one. The aggressive one seems to make it light up a little bit too much in the rear end, and particularly with that hard pack surface out there in certain parts of the track. That's how good this motor is. You don't really need to get too crazy with your mapping and try to get this thing firing on all cylinders, because in stock trim, it's an absolute weapon. Nice and smooth, and a lot of riders may even want to go to that slightly more docile map, the smoother one. For me, the standard one all the way, it was spectacular. Great things, the improvements that Honda have made to the motorcycle, absolutely phenomenal. And for you Honda fans out there, it'll definitely keep you happy, so head on down to your Honda dealership and go try to get yourself a good price on one of these 450s.
Well, that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much for watching. If you've missed any part of the show, you can always catch it up on the 7+ app. We'll see you guys next week, but until then, you know it, hold it on.